What's going on, everybody? Mike McFarland here, sitting in the studio. Got things changed up a little bit because I got a special one for you. But it is November 15th. We're getting near Thanksgiving. Lots of things changed in the last 4 to 5 days on Fork, and we're about to give you a pretty cool rundown. But I'm also going to introduce to you one of my good friends, basically a very native local to the area, to the lakes. Grew up here fishing these lakes. Good friend of mine and a good guide on the lake who also guides elsewhere. He guides down south a bit on OH Ivy, and so we're going to kind of talk about Lake Fork. We're going to give you a rundown about Lake Fork, tell you what's going on together there, share a little bit about my friend so you can get to know him. And with that being said, let's bring him in here. My good friend Jay Bonner. What's up, man?
How are you, Mr. Mike?
I'm good, sir. Come on in. So first time in the studio here.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I didn't realize that I'd never had you over here before.
Yes, sir.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Yes, that's nice.
AC
sure.
heat.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The weather outside right now.
It's cold outside,
nice in
and when I first did this, none of this was enclosed like this. Every acorn that hit the ceiling was be loud.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Some of the listeners and followers can probably remember that. But it's really nice to be able to have it like this, and it's even nicer to be able to kind of start to grow this thing to my original plan, which was more the next level. In the beginning, I had a lot of guests. When I first started it, I did, and we faded away from that. In the beginning, like I had Mark Pat Clump quite a bit. We did a lot of teachings. We did a lot of sharing of information publicly. And I know that I faded away from that. I built the members-only channel, which gave specific fishing information on Fork, and it was a paid-for channel. And so in respect to those guys, I kind of backed off on the public.
Yes, sir.
And I feel like, in a way, I've had a lot of public still stay with us. And in a way, I've had a lot of public, I want to say, complain. Not necessarily justifiably, because I think some of the hard-earned information that we share is fair to go to the members. But where I'm going with this is I want the public to know that we're going to try, as I've been saying, to ramp this up for you guys and give you at least some good content, some good stuff, whether it just be special guests, another guide on the lake, and I don't want to lose your attention. I don't want to lose your subscription. So with that being said, here's my good friend Jay. He grew up here on the lake. Shoot, you've been fishing this lake since you were 15?
Well, probably since I was in diapers, probably. My grandpa, he used to Lake Fork Marina and stuff. We used to go eat and stuff, and I always brought a fishing pole, and we'd walk, after we got finished eating, we'd walk down to the shoreline, and I'd always want to fish after we ate and stuff. And grew up, I went to high school in Mineola, and I've been here all my life.
So you've really seen the beginning, the middle, and the end. You've seen it change. You've
Pretty
seen
much.
when it used to have trees. You've seen when it used to have grass and lily pads,
Yes, sir.
and you've seen the fish kill in the 90s, and you've seen some crazy stuff. You shared with me about a dummy that used to be in one of the buoy lanes, the old dummy that was put up in Caney Creek.
Old mannequin.
An old mannequin.
Yeah.
A mannequin that was mounted.
I remember they used to dress her up different too. It was pretty cool.
So basically been around. It's been around. It's just not some fly-by-night jump here guide that I'm trying to share with you. He is guiding on the lake currently. Definitely a good guy. I've given him some trips last year, and he does well with people. He does well on the lake. And again, he's got a lifetime of knowing Fork. So he's been here much longer than I have. With that being said, Fork has changed.
It has changed a lot.
And I think any lake changes. I can talk about West Coast lakes that have dramatically changed. But real quick, let's do this. Let's give them the rundown right now about Fork, what's happening right now. And then we'll talk a little bit more about some of the changes and some of the things you've witnessed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so our current lake elevation is 396.14. We keep kind of playing just this little rubber band of these small cold fronts bring just enough rain to kind of bring us up a quarter inch, half an inch. So we've been, 396.20, and then we drop down to 396.10, and then we come back up 396.17, and it's just this little bit of rubber band. If you look at the Lake Fork site, Sabine River Authority site, you can see it just on the graph. It just looks like a zigzagging up and down, but we're really talking about quarters of an inch. So we're still sitting basically almost 7 feet low pool, 0 to 2 foot visibility. This just changed. I was 1 to 2 foot. I changed this from 0 to 2 because it really depends on where you are. There is 2 foot visibility in some places, and in some places there's next to 0. It's not necessarily muddy or dirty. It's just that winter water. Things have changed. Some I can't call it turnover anymore, but there's just some mix mash hodgepodge water out there. So 0 to 2 foot is probably safe. Even in the 0, you got a few inches. And then here's the big change. I put a star by this. Last rundown I gave you, we were still 65 degrees. As a matter of fact, on Saturday I went to Winnsboro, and it was 65 degrees. That was the day the cold front hit. In a matter of just 3 days, we've lost 10 degrees. We are now ranging today, Lake Fork is 56 degrees this morning, ranging from 56 to 60s. Again, depends on where you are. But we're really down to that cold mark. And I don't know about you, but I learned years ago, once you get into the winter water, anything below 55 is what I would call winter water.
Yes.
The bass become lethargic. They don't eat but every few days. They don't have to eat every day.
Yeah.
That's a misnomer. It's a cold-blooded creature. We say that as fishermen. They have to eat. They have to eat. No, they don't. They can really get into places, roots, suspend in trees, and go dormant like a snake. And then if they're not burning calories, they don't have to have calories. But generally, when I see this dropping, and I learned it mostly from Mark Peck, for me, and then I'm going to ask you the question. When I get to 55 degrees or lower, I get to the Santone jigs. And I don't mean football jigs anymore. I mean the rattling jigs.
Gotcha.
And I really slow down. How about you?
I love a jig this time of year.
Yeah. What depth range do you like fishing that jig this time of year?
Anywhere from 8 to 12, something like
12.
that.
So I have, this is a little bit of invite for members only. We're going to do a members only here in a little bit and tell you about the jigs that I like. We're also going to do, I've upgraded the members channel. So I now have a members channel and then an upgraded members channel. I'm going to do a major jig lesson, creek swing jig lesson, and we'll get into depth with that as well, talk about that. But for me, I really have 3 levels that I like to fish the jig when it's below 55 degrees. And those 3 levels are 6 to 12, like you said, 12 to 18,
Yes.
and 18 to 24. Depending on what I'm fishing. If I'm just fishing stumps, I'm probably wanting a 6 to 12.
Yes, sir.
How about you?
Yes, same here.
If I get into creek swings, which is what today's lesson is going to be at, the private lesson, the creek swings can change for me because the creek swings develop a lot of different scenarios. They got wood stumps and root systems and things like that. So I have a theory and a different way that I approach creek swings. The cool part about that is once I get a bite in those creek swings, I can replicate it.
Yes, sir.
And I can expand it. But growing up here, so there's so much we could talk about. We could talk about the fish kill. We could talk about, the big fish that Lake Fork's put out over all the years. But since we're right here, the heart of November now, cold front's here, water's here, I'd rather just kind of try and give the public some suggestions. If you're coming to Fork right now, how would you fish it?
In morning time, I'd be like on top water bite or something like that. And evening stuff, I would go out and be fishing a jig, or I'm still getting a few bites on a 10-inch ribbon tail.
Wow.
And
That's interesting.
yeah,
I have it, and again, there's so many ways to skin this cat. That's the coolest thing I think about fishing is there's no one way to do this, and that's what makes it so versatile. No one will ever master it. They never will for more than a day. You may figure something out and master it for the day. In a 3-day tournament, you get a Scott Martin or something that masters it, and he's the winner of the tournament. But the next tournament, you can't catch him. And that's what's cool about it. It's anybody's game, but I usually throw that ribbon tail worm away once we get this cold.
I've got one tied on year round.
That's pretty cool. I saw an article the other day about pros talking about swimming it, not necessarily fishing like a worm, using it like you would a spinner bait or using it like you would a moving bait because it's a good search bait.
Now, see, back then when I was a little kid, my grandpa would take me into a pond and stuff. We'd be on a flat bottom boat, trolling motor and stuff. And back then, I never let a worm go to the bottom. I cast to the bank and slow reel it in. I caught many.
It's a lot of action.
Fish.
I mean, it's a lot of movement. It's a pretty cool little deal. So for me, you said you'd be using a jig, little top water. What top water would you be throwing?
I've been catching good on the popping Yellow Magic and walking bait.
Full size?
The
Yellow Magic full size?
Full size, yes, sir.
Same for me. I would want to throw a Whopper Plopper or like a Berkeley Chopo. I would definitely be throwing the Berkeley Pop. That would work really well.
I'm catching a lot on a fluke right now too, with a little nail weight stuck in the end of it, fishing it real slow.
And because we're still ranging in that 56, 60 degrees, they're going to chase. Once they get below the 54, Mark Peck used to always say, get your pitching stick, your flipping stick out, and hit the wood, hit the stumps, and really slow down. Texas creature baits, Texas rig, brush hogs, and jigs. I'm in nothing but. I don't really catch a lot of moving fish on fork after 54 degrees, but we're not below that mark. Something Mark used to say to me a lot, and it really stuck hitting in my head, was we're coming out of winter, coming into spring, you're waiting for that water to warm up, and it's 48, it's 49, it's 52, and you know, if we had grass vegetation, you could catch them on a rattle trap.
Yes, sir.
But generally, you're waiting for that 54, 55 mark. As soon as it's 55, it's time to go. You should be catching fish. So you've been around here since you were a kid. Right now, you throw top waters, you throw a jig, you probably swim your ribbon tail. Any part of the lake that you think would be better than another? Would you be south, mid-lake, up north?
I like fishing like this time of year. Oh, my mind's gone blank. Around 29, 46, up in Birch and stuff like that. A little caney.
So up in the creeks,
yes,
a little more up in the creeks, not so much main lake oriented anymore.
No, sir. It's, anything with a creek on in it, so I like to.
Yep.
I
personally agree. I love the creeks, but they really have changed with the lack of vegetation.
They have.
Sometimes it's really hard to find the fish. I've found that in some cases too, we're running into the fish on do-nothing banks where you would think, you know, they want grass.
Yeah.
They want grass, they want some cover, they want something. It's gone. They're still right there in the same place that grass would have been had it not been killed off. It's just a do-nothing bank. It's not even tree stumps. They're nothing. They're just raw dirt, and they're right there on the banks in 2 feet of water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which all the docks and everything's taken away right now, so you ain't got that.
I think that would make a difference. We need about a good 3 foot raise in the lake to really make things different. All right, so we kind of covered fishing on the lake. I concur. I would pretty much do the same thing. I might do some spooning right now. I might go out in the deeper water and try and find some yellow bass and some deeper shad and throw an Alabama rig and some spoons.
Yeah, I've got an Alabama rig tied on.
That would be another way that I potentially would fish there to you public. I hope that helps you guys. The 515 East Bridge has got a really cool road that runs parallel to it, and you can find some good fish on it this time of year deep. You can really clean them up. In fact, the next 2 months, you can really clean those fish up there. But let's give you a couple more things. So first off, I want to highly recommend my friend here as a guide. He's got openings through the winter here, November, December, January. He's feeling spring already like I am. A lot of my March and April is already gone, taken. But if you want to book with him, I highly recommend him. I put my name with him. You also mentioned to me OHIV.
Yes, sir. I've got OHIV a little bit too. If y'all want to book, go there.
OHIV is one of the hottest lakes for big fish. It's still continuing to put out giant fish. I've got a camera dates going there in December to film for 2 days. Believe we're going to bring him down with us.
Yes,
probably film with him as well. Have him show me some things because I've never been to OHIV. But again, I recommend him as a friend, as a good person, as a good-hearted, warm. His character is solid. He knows customer service. So whether you want to fish Lake Fork or whether you want to fish OHIV, I mean, look him up. Jay Bonner. He's on Facebook, right?
Yes, sir. Facebook. I got a website, www.jbonnerlakeforkguideservice.com. Facebook, YouTube. Trying to do it all. So
if you're struggling, hey, send me a message and I'll get you in contact with him. If you've been out with me and you're looking for something fresh, you don't want the same old McFarland running your ear off, I highly recommend give him a shot. My people, give him a shot. You will enjoy it. I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't sure of it. So here's the cool thing. This public rundown, I said I like to give them good information.
yes, sir.
You as a person are good information. You're a good guy. We've shared a little bit of the fishing stuff, but we haven't given them the meat and juice yet. Okay, and so yes, as normal, this is your invite. You want to come get the meat, juice, potatoes of really, truly what's going on, the colors of the jigs, the places that we're fishing them. Again, I don't mean to drown you out with it, but I want to invite you to come to the members only channel. It's $4.99 a month. I give you some serious information. There's 265 subscribers that are faithful to me. There wouldn't be that many numbers if it wasn't valuable. So I understand publicly some of you guys are struggling with the fact that I used to give the information for free. But look, things change, times change, I need to change, and I'm not asking you for an arm and a leg. I really think you need to sit back and consider it yourself instead of sending me a message complaining about something I'm not doing for you free anymore. Come on, man, $4.99 a month. I really, really believe that I've done nothing wrong to lose you as a subscriber. In fact, I think I've done everything right to just draw you over to the members only channel.
I pay for it too, so it's good. I watch it all the time.
I said, I'm not trying to kill anybody. I'm not trying to make an arm and leg. It's not that. And you know, YouTube takes 40% of
It
it.
does.
YouTube gets a grip of that. So this isn't all changing Mike's pocket. It just, man, I spent more than $5,000 to build this studio. So I've really put myself out there on a limb. I've spent a bunch of money to be able to do this. And again, I don't want to smack you. But there's been some people publicly that have really kind of ripped me in comments that, you know, they're going to leave me unsubscribe. Why would you unsubscribe from a free channel? You know, it's kind of like poking at me, and I get it. And so that's why I'm doing this. I want you to know that I'm trying to still give you some good content. I love you. I do need the regular public subscription, but you need to come over to the members only channel. All right. And again, we'll close with this. The members only channel is being upgraded. There's a members only channel for $4.99, and then there's an upgrade for $9.99. The $9.99 has some awesome things coming. For the $9.99, you get the members only benefits. I just spoke to a handful of my sponsors yesterday, and I'm going to add this to the upgraded members only channel. And that is once a month, I'm going to pick a member from the upgraded channel, and you are going to get perks from my sponsors. It's going to be a care package once a month. So however many there are, right now it's just going to be one per month. But if this upgraded members channel grows and say that it becomes 50 or 100, I think for every so many people, and I don't want to say a number now, 25 or 50 or 100, I may upgrade and have, you know, 2 choices a month. But basically, there's going to be one package a month, one member that's picked every month for the upgraded channel. You're going to get some free packages, free samples, the Lake Fork tackle lures from Tightlines UV, from a new sponsor that I'm picking up right now, which is Go Fish Lures. And then I may throw some perks, and this is the coolest thing right here. In the members only, I tell you the baits that McFarland Fishing is using. I use some of my buddies and friends that are on the water for some of the information, so maybe it's the baits Jay's been using. End of the month, you will get this care package from the sponsors, and then you will get a handful of some of the exact baits that we were using during that month in those reports. That way, I really feel like, again, I bumped it up to $9.99, but I'm trying to give you more value than the $9.99 really is worth. You're going to get double that, I promise you, okay?
Cool deal.
Cool deal. And right now, I got a first lesson that I'm going to do. We're going to go do members together. We're going to talk in depth about members, and then I'm going to do this upgraded members, and it's going to be about jigs in the creek swings. And there's one thing to just tell guys jigs. It's another thing to tell them what color jigs, how to use them a little bit, and where to use them. And the final thing is the upgraded members is I'm going to give the juice on board a drawing to get in depth so that you truly get what I'm saying about how to apply the jig and have the most benefits possible from it. Okay? Hey, Jay.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Enjoyed it.
sir.
I'm glad you finally came here. We'll probably do this more often.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you very much. If you found that you like this, hit the thumbs up, the like button. And when I say thumbs up, hit the like button. Comment below. Look this guy up. Go fishing with him. Hit the members only subscription. It's in the description below. It's simple. Just hit the join button, follow the deal, and then watch for the upgraded channel that's upcoming right now. I'm Mike McFarland. This is Jay Bonner. We are Lake Fork Guides.